Okay. Well, thank you. And good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Rose Davis. I'm with Nubian Voices Toastmasters Club. We walk in excellence. We meet weekly, virtually, every Thursday, inviting you to join us. Our meetings start at 6 p.m. Pacific time for socializing, and then the actual meeting jumps off at 6:30 p.m. I know this is the last session, as I mentioned, and I am between you and lunch or whatever else exciting you're going to be doing on Saturday, but I really think they saved the best for last. I'm probably influenced. I just love the position of Vice President of Membership. I think there's so much it can do within the club. I hope to share some information, best practices, and even some hacks that would make your job more easy, more efficient. Thank you first and for all for accepting the role of VP of Membership. As I mentioned, I think it is a wonderful, wonderful role. Before we get started, I am going to segue to my partner in crime. Batman, I always say, has Robin, Long Ranger has Silver, Laverne has Shirley, and I have Tammy Green. She is going to be my Zoom master extraordinaire co-host running this session with me. Tammy, I'll let you tell us about our housekeeping.
Greetings and salutations. Our housekeeping rules are as follows. Please put your first and last name in the chat box along with your club and your role. We've been doing this all morning, so let's keep up with that. Please make sure you have yourselves on mute so we won't have any interference and background noise. And please participate throughout the session. The chat box is our best friend today. And if you have any questions, put it in the chat. And Rose will try to answer as many as she can, and I'll make sure that she will get to the questions as you post them. Thank you guys very much. Back to you, Rose.
Thank you, Miss Tammy. I'll go ahead and let you do a quick intro if you like, and then I'll jump into the remainder of the slides.
Well, Miss Rose Davis, ACB-ALB, is an amazing, phenomenal Toastmaster. She is awesome. She's really committed to our club, and I totally understand why she was chosen to do the VP of Membership orientation. She's currently a member of Nubian Voices Toastmaster. She's a treasurer. She's also the former VP of Membership. She has won an international speech contest, but placed in second place, but that still means she's a winner. She was a Spark Plug of the Year in 2014. And a humorous contest winner in third place in 2013, and she's been a Toastmaster since 2012. Rose is dynamic, and you guys are going to enjoy this session. It's going to be different from all the other ones you've been in today, because we're not going to have any hiccups, and it's going to run smoothly, and you're going to get so much information, and you're going to get those hacks that she spoke about.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Tammy. Everyone, I am excited about this session, as I mentioned. Really quickly about our agenda, I call it the 3 R's. We're going to cover the VPM role, the VPM responsibilities, and the VPM resources. So again, congratulations on your election. Ms. Tammy is going to be dropping information in the chat throughout this presentation, information that may be helpful to you. She's going to drop my contact information in the chat for you. Tammy, I am not able to, yes, I am watching the chat, so I will be able to see some of the questions that come up. But if I miss some, please ping me, alert me, and let me know. So our objectives today, we're going to identify and understand what this role of VP membership is. How do we fulfill our responsibilities? And then I'll share resources, best practices, potentially some hacks that can help you succeed. We're all in this together. Toastmasters is the best family you can have. If you don't know the information, there is someone that knows the information, and it's just a phone call, text, or email away. Before we get going, because we're in breakout sessions, we're not able to utilize polls, but I do want to get a sense of who's in the room, the makeup of the room, who's attending. So I just want to ask you for today, how many of you, and you can maybe use the raised hand feature on your toolbar. I want to just see how many of you, this is your first time in the role of VP of membership. It's your first time, or you can even drop it in the chat. It's my first time. It's my first time. So what's that looking like, Ms. Tammy? Is there a lot of first timers out there?
We're slowly trickling in responses. I see one is my first time.
And I see a lot of raised hands as first time as well. Okay, so all of you that put your hand up as first timers, go ahead and lower those so that we clear this slate. Now, how many of you have served in the role of VP of membership 2 times? If you would drop it in the chat, if that was you, so we can see that, and or just raise your hand. So, hey, we've got some veterans out there. That's really, really nice. That's awesome. You all are going to help me lead this session by dropping in your information and things that work really well in your club. So I'm excited about that. Okay, let's go ahead and lower those hands. And now, how many of you are just really, really seasoned? It's like, I don't want any other position. I love being VP of membership. And you've served in that role 3 or more times. Raise your hand for that, or drop it in the chat. So it looks like we've got about 3 folks who have served, 4, okay, 4 folks now that have served 4 or more times. So as I mentioned, you all are going to help me. You're going to share your hacks and all of that great information. You can go ahead and lower those hands. So what do you think are the responsibilities of the Vice President of Membership? Go ahead and just throw out those, your thoughts in the chat. What do you think are your responsibilities as Vice President of Membership? And we're going to be watching those responses come in, and we will be sharing them. Okay, recruit. Greet new members and new member orientation. Absolutely. Recruit new members, onboarding new members, getting butts in seats. Tamara, I love that. Greet members. Okay. Anyone else? Any other ideas, thoughts? Veteran season ones? I don't see you throwing anything out there. Maintain passion and enthusiasm. It is contagious. Anita, I agree 100%. Recruiting new members, conducting membership contests, assisting guests, processing membership applications. That's critical. They may join, but if you never process that membership application, it doesn't matter. And then retaining existing members. So let me read what Toastmaster says is the official description of VP of membership. It's stated in the club constitution and bylaws. The vice president membership is the 3rd ranking officer behind the president and VP of education, and is responsible for planning, organizing, and directing a program that ensures individual member retention and growth in club individual membership. The vice president of membership chairs the membership committee. So as you can see, that is a very, very critical role that you have. In everything that you do as a VP of membership supports the overall club mission and Toastmasters mission. Now let's take a little closer look at your responsibilities. You got responsibilities within the club meeting, you got responsibilities outside the club meeting, and then there's the executive committee. So right now we're going to do another question. Now that, the pandemic is kind of moving, how does your club plan to meet during this 6-month term year? From July 1st through December 31st, how does your club plan to meet? Are you going to do in-person meetings? Are you going to do Zoom or some other virtual platform like Microsoft Teams? Or are you planning hybrid? So just throw those in there. So that way I can tailor the presentation to how we will be moving forward in the next 6 months or so. Okay, we've got hybrid. That means that this year in your role, you're going to be lifting a little bit more because you will be functioning in two backgrounds and surroundings. You'll be functioning in a real in-person environment, then you'll be functioning in a virtual environment. So I will make sure I provide information on both of those. Thank you so much for sharing that a lot of folks are going to hybrid. So let's talk a little bit about the club meeting. Before the club meeting, upon arrival at the club meeting, and during the club meeting. And as I mentioned, as I'm like sharing this, if thoughts come to your mind, just go ahead and drop them in the chat box to share so that everyone gets this information. First and foremost, invite. You have to touch people. People love a personal touch. Hey, would you like to come to our Toastmasters Club? And then let them know what the benefits could be of them attending. Who do you invite? I say, let your reach be broad and deep and wide. Your colleagues, your coworkers, your family members, church friends, other organizations that you're a part of, friends, other businesses, fellow entrepreneurs and small business owners. There are so many people, your next door neighbor that you can touch and invite. And then you want to make sure that you are equipping all the members within your club so that they can invite those around their circle of influence to your meetings. We've got business cards at our club. We weren't really able to utilize them last year with COVID, but we have business cards that everyone has, and they're able to write their personal information and give a personal invite as they're out and about connecting and touching other folks. And you want to prepare in advance when you're thinking about, your meetings and how they're going to look. You want to make sure that your meetings are fun, they're fresh, and they're fulfilling. I call that the 3 Fs. I love alliterations, as you probably know. A positive club environment is going to draw other people in. It's going to draw people in, and you're going to be a magnet. There's going to be passion among the members, and they're going to be touching and inviting other folks. I think the secret sauce, kind of like that secret sauce of Raising Cane's chicken fingers, the chicken fingers are plain. It's that secret sauce that gets you in line to get that Raising Cane's chicken, isn't it? The secret sauce to a VP of membership is to strive to build real relationships. I say REAL, real relationships. That's really it. You got to be excited. You have to be your cheerleader. You have to have enthusiasm when no one else has enthusiasm. You have to be innovative and work along with the other officers within your organization to build the best club that you can as you strive to walk in excellence. Now with hybrid meetings and, being in person and also virtual, you're going to be connecting with your guests, but you're going to be connecting with them in Zoom, and then you're going to be connecting with them in person. So what does that look like in Zoom? Well, we have a virtual guest log that they can complete. I think Tammy will have a Google form and she will share what our virtual log looks like. With an in-person meeting, you never want a guest to sit by themselves. One of your officers or one of your ambassadors, if you have a position like that in your club, should always sit next to a new member. Now, I know we've got social distancing even happening with in-person meetings, possibly, but you don't want that person to feel like they're outsider, that they're above the meeting and just kind of looking in. You want them to feel connected. You want them to feel like we really, really want you to be here. And those things are very important. So we have placed a sample of the guest log if you're having virtual meetings so that you can utilize that. A lot of people focus on recruiting new members. I saw that a lot in the chat, but someone once told me that was a salesperson, Rose, it's much easier to keep a customer than it is to go and acquire a new customer. So you want to make sure that your club environment is inviting for everyone, your existing members, that it's engaging, and then it's exciting for new or potential members as well. One of the things that we do at Nubian Voices is the first Thursday of each month, we try to do a theme meeting. Last October, we did a Hollywood theme night with prizes for the best Hollywood look. This is a image that we snapped, and it's on the main page of our website. You can see people, they're smiling. They look like they're having a lot of fun. With that, there were 16 members at that meeting and 3 guests attended that meeting. So theme meetings just build excitement within your organization. Let me look at another one. That October, we also had a spooky speech-a-thon. That was great. So all the speeches were spooky, they were fun, they were innovative, and we also gave prizes for that as well. So before I go to the next slide, I'm just going to ask if you would throw out, what do you do to keep your members engaged? Just place some themes that your club has done for potential meetings so that others can kind of get their juices, creative juices flowing. What other themes have you done? Just throw that out in the chat. One of the things that I'd like to mention is that for the last 3 years, Nubian Voices has been President Distinguished, and let's hope we can pull that off again this year. But yeah, please, let me know what are some themes that you're using to just keep your meetings fresh, fun, and exciting. Now, one of the things that we're doing within our club, it's going to be happening just next Thursday, Juneteenth celebration and a silent auction that we're doing. We're excited about it. We're also exploring a silent auction. Tammy's going to place in the chat our website link, and you will be able to go and RSVP. We invite you to come and check that out. Also, you can bid on some interesting silent auction items. I just want to let you know a little bit about what is Juneteenth. For some people, they've never ever heard of that. But Juneteenth is also known as Freedom Day. And Juneteenth commemorates the anniversary date of June 19th, 1865, and the announcement of then President Abraham Lincoln proclaiming freedom for slavery. Officially, he signed the Emancipation Proclamation. But the thing about it, because there was no internet, no texting, no Twitter or anything like that, it took 2.5 years before the farthest state in the West actually got word, we're free. So on June 19th, 1865, 2.5 years later, Texas and the remote of the slave states received the announcement. So it's kind of a freedom celebration. We want to have fun with that. And we're inviting you to just join with us. So theme meetings can be really good for your organization, for your club. Now, upon arrival, what time should you arrive? Should you arrive 5 minutes before everyone else? I don't think so. As VP of membership, you should arrive about 20 minutes before the meeting starts, especially if it's an in-person meeting. If it's a Zoom meeting, 15 to 10 minutes before it starts, making sure that everything is in place, that the sergeant at arms has that link for your actual guest log that you're going to be dropping in the chat. So you want to make sure that you're there. And you want to make sure you have your link because you're going to be dropping in your virtual welcome packet. If it's a Zoom meeting, you're going to be dropping that in to the chat area so that your guests can have a welcome packet. You're also, if it's an in-person meeting, you will have actual physical welcome packets at your welcome table to be sure that all of those folks attending in person receive that. So that's a best practice for in-person and virtual meetings. Make sure that folks leave with information so that they know a little bit about your club. They're already checking you out, you know. Now you want to give them a little information so that they can start the decisioning process. Remember, this is about relationships, connecting with your guests. Encourage members to send private chats, welcoming those in virtual meetings. Just send a private chat. Hey, Tom, we're glad you joined us. Welcome. Really make a big deal when a new member comes into your club and you induct them as a member. Really make that a big deal. So I want to just ask, what are others doing to show warmth and hospitality to guests at your meeting? Just drop that in the chat. Lori mentioned that she gets her meeting themes at www.brownielocks.com. Wow, that's great. Thanks, Lori. I appreciate that. Please drop those in the chat. A good hack that would be great is that anything that you think you're going to be dropping in the chat in a meeting, go ahead and create that in Word. That way, all you have to do is copy and paste what you're going to put in the chat. You don't have to worry about any typos or anything like that. And for an in-person, go to the dollar store and get those little cards, a pack of 8 or 10. Write out a card, a thank you, and give to that member before they leave. You want to touch them before they leave and say, thank you so much for joining us. That's going to give them a warm feeling that you really, really want them to be a part of your organization and that you really love people. Now, after the club meeting, this is really important, everyone. Meet with guests to answer any questions. You want to meet with them, and then you really want to make sure that you make the ask. Some people welcome folks, but they never ask them to join their club. So you want to touch that person either with a phone call, an email, whatever contact information you have, but you want to make a touch. And you want to touch that potential new member within 48 hours. You have to strike while the iron is hot. And then as VP of membership, develop your system, develop your ebb and flow of how you're going to execute your job so that it's consistent every time. And then you built in a process for your successor who comes after you. One of the things that I wanted to share is that I read an article in LinkedIn that said that how many times do you think you have to touch a person before a sale is made? How many times do you think you have to touch a person? 5, 10, 20? Lori, Nadia, you are absolutely right. The average minimum number of times you have to touch a buyer. And that's what a guest is. They're checking out the club to buy a membership. You have to potentially touch them 7 times before they join. Now, those that join at the first meeting because they love it, blah, 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 that's great. But most of them, you have to touch 7 times. So I hope within your organizations, you're leveraging all of the technical tools that Toastmasters is giving us with Free Toast Host. You're able to put all of that information into Free Toast Host, and they have automated messages that you can create and you can send to guests and you can keep connected with them. But it says that you have to touch them 7 times. And this is why you have to touch them 7 times, because they're buying a membership and you have to be able to answer the question for them. Is the problem that I have something that you can solve? I have a fear of speaking, or I'm an entrepreneur and I can't even present a capability statement to a potential, buyer of my product or service. How does your solution work? How does Toastmasters work? What are they going to have to do before they can start? How much does it cost? Big question that's always asked. And what results can I expect? And how long will it take? Can I be a DTM in 6 months? Can the butterflies go away in 3 months? But they want to know, how long is it going to take that this fear or whatever my goal is, how long does it take? And then who else have you helped? What other kinds of proof do you have that this stuff really works, And that's where those testimonials come in. Dropping testimonials in some of your marketing information or placing it on your website. That way people know this stuff works. This club works. This secret sauce works. So you have to show them that you understand their problem, their goal, their why, and to give them the necessary information that they can make a conscientious buying decision. So those are the things that you need to do. The other thing that you need to also do is that when the guests complete the membership application, because they're saying, yes, I want to buy your membership, make sure you have a process to hand them off to the treasurer. And for me, this lets them see that there's other leaders within the company, and then make that connection to the VP of education so they're able to get started on their pathway. So you're wearing a lot of hats, you're connecting them, and they're able to see that you are serious about members and they're not going to just get lost. Outside the club meeting, conduct an ongoing membership campaign to build members and to keep the ones that are there happy, and to set some goals. I always say that those that are not keeping score are just practicing. So what goal do you have? Do you have a goal of getting a half a member per month so that you know what's your goals for the next 6 months. Do you want to try and get 6 members each month? Do you want to become president distinguished? What goals do you have? And how are you going to get them? So that's some of the things that you're doing outside the club. And you want to make sure that your current members are happy, that they're satisfied. What can I do to improve this experience that you're having within our club? So with the technology, I encourage you to do a survey or have your president conduct that type of survey where all the members are sharing information and letting you know some of the things that they wish could happen within the club and some of the things that they wish, you know, we could continue doing or we should stop doing. Within the month of July and December, there are 2 formal club membership contests and competitions that are happening. And during that time, the Smedley Award happens from August 1st through September 30th, where you're trying to add 5 new members or reinstated or dual members. August through September, you should be planning a wonderful open house because summer is over. And then some of the other creative things that you can do is have a joint meeting with another club. Plan the full Toastmaster year with your club officers so that everything is planned and all you have to do after that is just execute. So one of the questions that I like to just ask you to just drop in the chat is, when was the last time you added something new in your club meetings to keep them fresh and they're not stale? When was the last thing you added a new aspect? Like we have a holler for a dollar where people can get up and talk about great things. One of the things that I thought about that could be added for 1 or 2 minutes is that maybe there's a gratitude moment where people can sign up. They can spend the time thanking a club member for something they did, or they can just share a gratitude for something they're really grateful for. So I just encourage you to push the needle and try to just keep your clubs fresh and exciting. Make sure you bring membership applications with you. Assist the VP of PR. You guys are going to be joined at the hip as they're doing PR and you're trying to connect and give them ideas of what you're going to be doing as far as membership campaigns, recruiting new members, all of that stuff. And then lastly, attending the club executive committee member meetings. They normally happen monthly. You want to make sure that you're attending those meetings with the other club officers so everyone is collaborating and everyone is swimming in the same direction as far as your club goes. Remember, it's easier to keep a customer than it is to go out and add a new customer. So make sure that your current members are happy and feeling that they're getting value from being a part of the club. Another thing is to attend the area council meetings and then succession planning. Make sure that you arrange for your replacement person. That's going to be really important. And then finally, the executive committee meetings that I mentioned. This is where you're going to plan the year. This is where you're going to give the other officers updates of what's happening, how membership retention is going. You're going to be reporting out on the club membership, what that's looking like. And then if there's a red flag, everyone's going to join in and make sure that that problem is solved. So I really encourage you to make sure that there's collaboration. Do you have a goal of saying, hey, we want to get more diversity in our club? Well, everyone is 40 and over. Let's look at getting members that are 25 and under, so that, you know, they're learning how to speak, and they're getting all the butterflies and the filler words out of their talk as they go into the working world, or a lot of them are entrepreneurs. Next thing is to have a plan. How will you do it? When will you do it? Who's going to do it and what? Get your committee together. Have someone that's responsible for retention. Have someone that's responsible for new members. Have someone that's responsible for your overall campaigns. And then it's you. So there's like a committee, and you guys are moving and you're executing. I always say that a goal without an action plan is a daydream, but an action without a strategy is a nightmare. So write your plan down, share it with your executive team, and then go and put legs on that vision and that plan. Write it, read it, run with it. This is a checklist of some resources that are available for you. One of the things that I love about Toastmasters International is that they have lots of information for you to execute your role efficiently. They have links, they have articles, there's a lot of information out there. Tammy is going to share some links on how you can get to that information. This is the additional resources that I wanted to share. There's a Distinguished Club program. There's a Success 101. There's a Speechcraft information, but there's a lot of information out there. And those are the links for you to just get all the information and be equipped to just have a wonderful time executing as VP of membership. Tammy's also going to put some other links and resources from other clubs, 106 ideas for retaining members, take care of your current members, just everything to just keep connected with your current members, and then going out and touching new members. I saw a lot of questions in the chat. I think we have, we're good on time. We've got 13 minutes. So I saw a lot of questions in the chat. I want to make sure that we get to those questions. We've covered a lot of information. Before we get to those questions, some of the things that I threw out, some of the things that were put into the actual chat, the last question that we want to ask is, there was a lot of things that's covered, a lot of suggestions, best practices, and some hacks that maybe that you can try to utilize. Now, Tammy's going to place in the chat I call it the Magnificent Seven that we shared. That's build an electronic welcome packet, create a virtual guest book, utilizing Google Docs or Google Forms, contact guests within 48 hours, send a virtual greeting card, develop success measures as a VPM, like member longevity. How long are members staying with your club? Are you tracking how the average number of new members that you're getting? And then do you have a goal of maybe trying to get more millennials or folks that are 25 and under within your club? Are you going to organize a fun membership building contest or infuse more themes into your meetings? Or maybe you're going to host a joint meeting with another club. So all of those things that were mentioned, just throw in the chat. What one thing you're going to try and initiate within your term as VP of membership. Because if you don't really identify anything, it's kind of willy-nilly. So I suggest that you identify something, write it down, share it with your committee or the executive committee so that they can hold you accountable. The VP of membership role, I think it's an important role. All the roles are important because they're interconnected together. But I hope that I've given you just some nuggets of what your role is going to look like, that you see that it's interconnected with your other officers of your club, that you are the key person, but it's everyone's role within your club to go out and identify, touch, and tap others to join your club, to come and see the wonderful things that your club is doing to help them grow and transform as leaders and speakers, and including improving their communication skills. With that, I'm going to open it up and ask Tammy if there's any questions that anyone has. I was not able to really watch the chat and ask those questions. So if we can mute the folks, or if you can ask those questions that they had, I want to spend the next 10 minutes answering any questions that folks may have that I can answer, or those awesome folks that have been in this role a couple of times, been around the block, that we all together can answer your question.
All right. Well, we have a few questions. Maybe one. You have done a wonderful job of asking questions that were in the chat as you went along, just naturally in the process. But one question that everyone seems to be wanting to know: how do we save this chat? And I thought we can copy and paste, but you cannot. I don't even have the function to save this chat myself. So we would definitely have to figure out how do we get the chat saved.
Yes, I'm looking as well, Tammy. I had the function. I thought I had the functionality in the main room, but we don't have that functionality to save the chat. But I think you're wanting the links and everything that we're sharing, correct? And all that information that other folks shared. Are we able to highlight it and put it in a Word document, Tammy? Oh, okay. Ken just answered the question. Yay. Thank you, Ken. You're awesome. The chat is saved with the recording. Woohoo! Yay. So you guys, once the recording converts, it's going to be saved, I think, on Tammy's hard drive. We will push that out to all the ones that we know. In coordinating with Carol, we will push that information out to hopefully all the attendees. You drop your name, we don't have their email. We will figure out how to get it to you. We will figure out how to get it to those attendees in this session. Great question. Oh, thank you, Malik. He says, send to me. Malik is going to distribute it for us. Malik, you're awesome. Look at this. Didn't I tell you we were family and that we helped each other? This is the best place on earth, everybody. What about any other questions? Were there other questions? I saw someone asked, how do you create the virtual guest log in Google Forms? It's really easy. One of the things that I found is that YouTube is your best friend. Everything you want to know how to do is on YouTube. So I would encourage you to go out to YouTube that says, how do I create a form in Google Forms? They will show you how. I love YouTube.
Yeah, Google Forms is really simple to create. I did put a link to Google Forms in the chat as well, so you can go there and set up you an account and just follow the steps. You can even add your own art there, your own image. It tells you the size that is acceptable. You can do a lot with Google Forms.
Does anyone have some challenges with growth? I know with COVID, a lot of clubs, folks just hey, we're sheltered in. I don't really need to be a part of Toastmasters. Now it's time to go back and tap those folks because things are different now. Remember, you have to, even though they were members and then they didn't renew, tap them now because things are different. And if they got laid off of a job, everyone's hiring again. Everyone needs communication skills, whether or not you're a valet parker or you're a VP in a company. Everyone needs communication and leadership skills. So, what we're providing, everyone needs, even the housewife at home raising the kids, maybe homeschooling. Everyone needs leadership skills and communication skills. So even if someone said no, go and tap them again. And maybe this time they might just say yes. Any other questions? Are they able to unmute if they have questions, Ms. Tammy? Yes, Anita says interviewing skills are very necessary right now. Nubian Voices Toastmasters is already planning our year, and one of the events that we are going to do is a entrepreneur small business night where entrepreneurs come and they actually pitch their capability statement or their elevator pitch so that we can give them feedback on that. Right now, they were hit hard, but now that the economy is opening up again, they need those skills to be able to pitch their goods and services and their value proposition to potential businesses that can utilize their goods and services. So think of a need that's happening right now in our economy, and how can your club fulfill that need? That's how you're going to get new potential members.
I do have a question, Rose. I live in a retirement community, and it's the first time I've lived in a retirement community, and it's been a hurdle to find new members, people who still have that ambition to expand their skills, their leadership skills, or communication skills. Any hints from anybody that's ever recruited in a retirement community?
Can I answer that?
Please do.
This is Anita. You got a 50-50 shot, but everything is a 50-50 shot in life. See if you can start a speechcraft class, 8 weeks, free. Do a demo meeting. I did put it in chat. Do a demo meeting so they know what to expect, and somebody will always be there to facilitate and coordinate their efforts. Then have the residents take over. Don't let them think that this is an entertainment hour for them to be entertained by us. Let them know this is for their benefit, their enjoyment, and they can participate in sharing some of the stories of their lives with other people who will not interrupt them while they're talking for 5 to 7 minutes.
That's good.
It's a wonderful approach.
Thank you so much, Anita. That was an excellent suggestion. I really appreciate that. We had a challenge this year too. We normally have in-person family reunions. We're doing our first ever virtual family reunion in Zoom. Older people, it's different and it's challenging to connect if they're going to connect, via Zoom and not in person. We've got 2 minutes left. I want to be conscientious and respectful of time. I'm between you and lunch and anything else that you have to do for the rest of this Saturday. If you have additional questions, if we didn't answer your question, Tammy has placed my contact information in the chat. Please feel free to touch base with me. That phone number is a mobile phone. I am a night owl and I get up early. So 5 o'clock texting is not too early and 1 o'clock texting is not too late. And I will respond to you. I thank you so much for your time. I wish you the best in your role as VP of Membership. Make sure that you're collaborating with your other officers because together everyone achieves more. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Rose.
Excellent session, Rose, Tammy, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great
Very
job.
well
you all.
That
organized.
was
very well done.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know folks are dropping off. I forgot to thank my Robin, Miss Tammy, for her awesome Zoom master skills. Tammy, thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. Great job.
And we really want you to join us at our Juneteenth celebration this Thursday. We would love to have you. We're trying something new to attract new members with the auction and with this celebration, and we would love to have you join us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.